Alright, welcome back everyone. We're gonna start off again with some more of the Ace Attorney 2, and we're gonna continue on with this investigation we're currently going through. So I hope you all continue to enjoy watching. Now let's do this. Alright guys, and we are back. So this time we're gonna pretty much move on to, where's his, Shamspear's room. 22nd of February, Mr. Natsume's Lodgings, ground floor. Oh, Gregson. Oh, hello again, Inspector Gregson. What are you doing here? Well, we were hoping to have another look around, actually. The lawyer representing the defendant has a right to examine the scene, as I'm sure you're aware. Yeah, I know the score. Oh, yes, one other thing. There's soap in the ledge outside the window. Did you find it? With the tea in it? Yeah, we found it alright. And there was a small amount of tea in it, as you said. I knew it. It's with the identification section at the yard now. They're looking into it. The results should be available later today. That's wonderful news. Thank you. Pretty impressive performance in court this morning. Sorry? Nothing. Get it. Just make sure you don't disturb anything in here. Oh, there he is right there. That's funny. Mr. Sholmes, what are you up to over there? What a question indeed. Was it not your good self who asked me to attend the scene? Oi, what are you doing here, Sholmes? What are you up to over there? What are you doing here? Dear me, once a great detective, once is always under scrutiny, it seems. Is now the time, Mr. Sholmes? Are you about to show us your forensic talent in action as you promised? With the greatest of pleasure, my dear madam. What's all this? Ooh. I remember him using this in part 1. All of this is precisely what you requested, Mr. Naruhodo. Herlock Sholmes' sensational skin print seeker gun. Moments ago, I took a sample from the teacup that was used by the victim. A sample? From Mr. Shamspear's cup? Each individual leaves microscopic secretions on everything he or she touches. A sample of those secretions is all I need to produce this, or a fine indicator solution. By liberally spraying the room with this chemical, everything the victim touches is instantly revealed with the aid of these goggles. Here, try them on. There, now spray the chemical indicator about all, and all will be revealed. Spray? How do I do that exactly? A little press of space in the air on the area you're interested in is all that's required, like this. What is this stuff? It's like a fog. A suspension of chemical indicator in the pressurized gas. It's the most efficient way to cover a large area. That was another invention I discovered incidentally whilst I was developing this idea. As you do. Go ahead, try it, my dear fellow. We may learn something interesting about the victim's movements on the night in question. Well, there's nothing to lose, I suppose. Let's explore. Alright. Well, I mean, he already sprayed this area, so I would assume that I would like to try the gas meter. Ah, there it is. See that? Boom. Oh, wow. Wow. Interesting. There it is. I was like, I knew the window too. It had to be. How about the floor? Look, there are dozens of handprints here. So there are. A great many indeed. So much so that it's hard to make out any one individual print, in fact. Brr, sends a chill down my spine. Perhaps he was leaning against the wall while he admired this picture? Unlikely, I would say. It's a rather dull scene after all. And without wishing to state the obvious, you wouldn't generally admire a picture from such close quarters, I feel. Oh, very true, Mr. Sato. It's a bit of a mystery then. Alright, so we got prints with like many... Oh yeah, we did that already. Skip it, skip it. Alright, what about this? Oh, yep, more of it here. I'm spraying everywhere, man. Oh, see? Boom. Oh, okay, forget it. Oh, look at all this here. Ah, yes, interesting. A multitude of victims' handprints. Why are there so many of them on the floor in this one spot? Ooh, perhaps he had a bad fall just here. There's nothing obvious that he would have tripped over though, is there? I wonder. Personally, I often stumble when there's nothing obvious to trip over. I think that's something only a great detective would do, Mr. Sholmes. Well, this is quite a puzzle. Handprints all over the floor. Yes, there's no obvious explanation. Well, we sprayed Mr. Sholmes' amazing skin print indicator all over this room, didn't we? We did, but there are two places in particular that are of interest, I would say. The handprints on the floor there. And on the wall by the picture, you mean? Yes, and I think the floor warrants closer investigation. I won't be a moment. Ah! What is it, Mr. Sato? Look here, Mr. Naruhodo. One of the floorboards has just popped out. One of the... You mean... It's a secret hiding place? Excellent work, Mr. Sato. So, what do we have in here? Oi! What are you lot doing? Inspector Gregson! Stand aside right this minute. It's my job to investigate there. No need, Inspector. You continue to dig in your portion of chips whilst we dig under the floor here. Your fancy talk's putting me off my food anyway, Sholmes. A new bit of evidence is exactly what I need. Wow, a secret hiding place under the floor. What a find. It's not a hiding place you could make use of in Japan. I don't think I could lift a straw at the tatami mat. No, I know, but I never expected one of these wooden floorboards to move either. It's got me wondering about the wall over there too. Aren't you curious? Oh! I'll investigate at once. There's nothing behind the picture, sadly. Only the wall. How disappointing. But then how do you explain the handprints? I really can't think of why anyone would have been touching the wall over and over in one place like that. There you are, a print for you. The photograph of the handprints on the wall has been entered into the court record. Oh, thank you very much. His invention can make prints too? Now then, I wonder if Inspector Gregson has found anything on the floor there. I'm desperate to know. So am I. What are you waiting for? Let's go. Tell us what's up. What's the word about the bird? I'd love to know if there's anything hidden underneath the floorboard there. Allow me to ask Gregson now. After all, we're well acquainted. Inspector Gregson, really? It's been too long. What is it, Sholmes? I thought perhaps you might show me what you found there, seeing as we're such good friends. We're not friends. No, I suppose not. A dismal failure. Yes, I heard. I'd kill to know what was under the floorboard. Alright then, fair's fair. What? You did discover the hiding place after all. I suppose I should at least fill you in. Really, Inspector? Thank you. Do it quickly, my dear fellow. If there's one thing I know about this man, it's what he blows with the wind, as fickle as the weather. Is that he blows in the wind, okay. Oi, stop making me out to be some kind of nut. There were 3 items under the floor there. A newspaper clipping, a photographic print, and a tin box. Now, what do you want to know? Everything? Looks like this was cut out of the paper about 3 months ago. It's about a convict who got sick and died while he was serving time up in Manchester. How terrible. Messed up. It made the headlines down here in London as well. The bloke had been sentenced to death, you see, but nature got him first. Oh my goodness, he committed a capital offense? Man by the name of Selden. Nasty piece of work into burglaries and murder. They say the hoard he knocked off was worth about £1,000. A hoard? Of treasure, you mean? Jewelry and the like, but he'd hidden it somewhere and no one knows where, and now he's dead. The papers loved it, of course. £1,000 lost en route to hell, or some such was the headline. You know, for all we know, those handprints in the wall could lead to that treasure. Like, maybe that's a clue. Does not strike you, though? Why such an article would be so carefully ensconced under the floor? I suppose now you mention it, it does seem a bit odd. Perhaps I'll cover the paperwork we've got on Selden back at the yard and see if I can turn anything up. Alright, now we got the capital offender article. So, this is the photograph I found. Looks reasonably recent to me. Yes, it would appear to have been taken on the street in front of the house here. And the gentleman on the left is Mr. Garadeb, the landlord, of course. But who's the young man on the right? Mr. Garadeb's son, perhaps? Perhaps you can take that print if you like. That's the same guy that was in the picture with Miss Green's hospital, her hospital bed. So I'm trying to figure out what the relation is. And for all I know, that guy could be Shamspear. I don't know. Really? Are you sure? We can presume, therefore, that the yard already knows the identity of the young fellow, that is. Ah, is that true? Well, it's too bad if we do. Unfortunately for you lot, leaking information isn't one of my pastimes. My dear Inspector, if I may be so bold as to point something out. Pastimes are for one's leisure, but this is for work. All the more reason I'm not telling you. A dismal failure. Yes, I heard. Alright, now we got a hidden photograph. Nice, nice. We're getting some good evidence. I wonder why a photograph like this was under the floor. I mean, Mr. Shamspear himself isn't in it. Photographic prints are still rare treasures in the East End. I imagine Mr. Garadeb was rather delighted to have been immortalized. He probably made a proud present of it. Alright, tin box. Now this tin box looks interesting, doesn't it? Might I suggest, Inspector, that you open it? If you were to find something inside that reveals the truth behind this case, I wouldn't be in the least surprised. Yeah, funnily enough, I've already had a look. It's completely empty. What? Shakespeare, give us a clue, man! You didn't even have the chance to utter a word, Mr. Naruhodo. But anyway, at least we found out what's inside the box. Or maybe it's not what's inside the box, but the box itself. Yes, thin air. It's empty, rather like how I feel inside. Is there nothing more to this box then, I wonder? Can I inspect the box? Oh, cat again. Oh look! It's that lovely little kitty cat. What was its name? Wagahai, right? It's Mr. Natsume's, isn't it? I don't think we ever asked him, actually. Why don't we call it, Wagahai? You know, like Mr. Natsume refers to himself in Japanese. I wonder how he got in here, clever cat. Oh, wonderful. Well then, Wagahai. Here's something delicious I bought for you from the cat's meat, man. I could have sworn there was a cat named Wagahai already. Oh, now he's sleeping. He couldn't be happier now, look. I just hope we can bring some happiness to his owner, too. Alright, I guess we gotta examine again. That was a cheeky little meow, Wagahai. Oh, but he's so adorable. I could sit and watch him forever. I think he may not appreciate that after a while, and we have an investigation to get back to. The sun never shines in this room thanks to that depressing bricked-up window. Yet, with enough determination, you can always remove the bricks to set some soap outside, can't you? That sounds like a very wise life lesson, Mr. Sato. Only if you plan to follow a life of crime, Mr. Naruhodo. Well, she ain't necessarily wrong. If you ran out of change, you wouldn't even have any light, let alone heat. For the needy, London's winters can be very harsh. That's true, but if you think about it, even the wealthy would find themselves freezing if they ran out of small change. London's winters can be very harsh for the forgetful too, then. Frankly, I'm starting to wonder if Sato-san and I are going to make it to spring. That's true, we don't even have a meter at Baker Street, let alone a gas stove. Look how dark the stain on the floor is underneath the meter there. Yes, from all the water dripping out after the ice coins melted as you established in court this morning. It's a very large and obvious stain, isn't it? Mr. Shakespeare must have used an awful lot of ice coins, I suppose. It was an ingenious idea, I'll give him that. So it turns out that Mr. Shakespeare wasn't eating the soap at all. That's right, the mystery of why he had it on the plate whilst holding a fork in his hand is solved. Yes, to price his latest ice coin out of its mode. And in the process, he accidentally broke the bar of soap in two. It certainly was hard to imagine, let alone deduce. Ah, the ill-fated teacups from which two men drank on the ill-fated night. During their heated literary debate, yes. Who's stronger, Romeo or Juliet? It sounds like it was quite a discussion. Now I think of it, I'm sure that the two lovers in the play ended their lives with poison. That's fiction, Mr. Sato. Let's hope it stays that way. Okay, this is some sort of makeshift stage, I think, isn't it? Where does the audience sit, though, for the nightly Shakespeare performances? Actors aspiring to the great stage must practice their art, Mr. Naruhodo, with or without an audience. In fact, on a related note, perhaps you should set up a mock bench for the defense in your office. What? Then you can practice your art every single day. I'll think about it, if you promise to don a beard and play the role of the judge. Well, if that would help you achieve your goal. This I have to see. Oh, wait. This is a gas wall light, isn't it? It must be connected to a gas pipe in the wall. Gas lights. A gas stove. London really is a city of gas. And now that I think about it, Mr. and Mrs. Garrett had an open fire on the top floor, didn't they? Oh yes, you're right. I don't recall seeing a gas stove up there. Well, I much prefer a real fire anyway. It's so much cozier. Let's check up on Soseki. (22nd of February), local prison, cell 9. Oh, Mr. Natsume is back. So he is. Mr. Natsume, hello. I am a cat. Sorry? I don't know who Mr. Natsume is, or Herlock Sholmes. I don't know about courts or trials or Old Baileys. I am a cat. That's what I am. Just a cat. Mr. Naruhodo, he's trying to escape from reality. Trying to? He already has. Completely. So, what is your name then? As yet, I have no name. Mr. Naruhodo, he hasn't fully thought out his new identity yet. Maybe it's not too late to bring him back to reality. Do you think you could open your eyes for us, Mr. Natsume? There he is. I am not a cat. It worked! He's back in the real world! What's going to become of me? No! Don't answer that! It's obvious! My cursed soul is never going to escape this accursed fate. Mr. Natsume, no. This morning's proceedings in court proved that there's hope. Yes, Locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire was brilliant, but... The Reaper's omnipresent! In court, in my lodgings! Here, there, everywhere! What's he looking straight at me for? I think perhaps there are some things we should discuss. Oh, yes, we must. In my whole life, have I ever been so moved as I was today? No! Of course, if I cast my mind back, there were perhaps one or two other occasions that moved me more. But if I just blocked those out, then today, being in that courtroom was... It was the most moving experience of all my life! Locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire! You're too kind. Scotland Yard found the remaining tea just as we deduced and are analyzing it as we speak. There's nothing wrong with that tea. They won't find a drop of poison in it. That's a... solemn, sworn, Soseki certainty. I tried to get that on point, guys. Tell me, did you both drink the tea at the same time that night? Oh yes, most definitely. Remember, drink tea while it's hot. We both poured it down our throats like it was a hot bath for our bellies. And at the time, you were both completely fine. As shown by the fact that he and Mr. Shakespeare then engaged in the Romeo and Juliet match. I suppose the focus of tomorrow's proceedings will be how the poison was taken by the victim then. That rotten Shakespeare! What have I ever done to him? You don't recall him taking issue with you over anything you've done recently? I've been holed up in my room, immersed in books. I don't recall anything. Anything at all! Right. But what I don't understand is why he didn't let me know sooner. Let you know what, Mr. Natsume? About the soup, of course. What else? Oh dear. Are you struggling with such a meager stipend? Of course I am. If I had money, I wouldn't have chosen to live in an accursed existence and in such accursed lodgings. Oh yes, you said it's because the place is cursed that it's so cheap, didn't you? Exactly. Especially the room that I rent. The spirit of that capital offender who lived there still haunts the place, and it's trying to kill me! Capital offender? Might I ask locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire that the next time you visit me, you bring scores of super soft soaps? Okay. Hold on a second. I have some soap. Mr. Natsume, what do you know about this? Ah, there it is! The lathery lowlife that took my neighbor's life and sent me sliding to the depths of despair. Slippery, sickly, psychotic saboteur! You've really gone off soap, haven't you? Absolutely, and I've made up my mind. The next time someone gives me soap as a present, it's... friendship! Finish! Firmly! Forever! I don't know that we can blame soap for everything that's happened, Mr. Natsume. That was funny. Alright, so I'm gonna have to end the video here for today, guys. Thank you all for watching. When we come back, we're gonna finish up with this investigation and continue on to part 2 of the trial. Thank you all for watching.